For many, this is the sound of January the 1st, 2018. Those with New Year's resolutions to exercise more might take to the track or sign up to the gym, but for people with physical and mental health illnesses, running may hold more value. Run Every Day, or R.E.D January, have put forward the challenge to, you guessed it, run every day in January to promote how exercise can be part of a long-term recovery plan from these types of illnesses. I spoke to Hannah Beecham, founder of R.E.D, to find out more.
Exercise in general can really help improve your mental well-being. So by getting outdoors and getting fresh air, helping support your heart health and your joints and things like that. And also it tends to be a thing that you do with other people, so it's something that you can share with people as well.
So have you noticed any physical differences sort of in the behaviour of people since they began taking part?
So for the first 2 years, definitely. And actually we did run a survey, a pre and post R.E.D January survey, where we asked people to talk about their moods and their feelings. And yes, overall, after the end of R.E.D January, people were feeling much more confident, less anxious. There were a few cases where people had come off their antidepressants. Now, I'm not saying R.E.D's going to cure people of their depression, but there's definitely been incidents where people feel like they can cope better with their mental health problem now they've experienced exercise.
The beginning of a new year can prove to be a particularly tough time for those with mental health illnesses, according to mental health expert Dr. Andrew Mayers.
One of the main things, I guess, at this time of year is that there is a tendency for some people to feel a little lower. It could be because the days are shorter. And also, sort of immediately after Christmas, there's that sudden sort of loss of, I don't know, it's kind of a feeling of pessimism, because January can be such a difficult time and all of that.
Perhaps, given the release of neurochemicals and endorphins that exercise provides, it's easier to understand why those with mental health illnesses can use it as a form of recovery. But I want to get to the bottom of whether exercise and leisure activities can be therapeutic for those with physical disabilities. To find out more, I headed to Bampton Archery Club to speak with Neil Holt, who runs a weekly disabled archery class. Neil told me the story of a gentleman who suffered from multiple sclerosis, but through archery was able to come off of his crutches.
When he first arrived on the Bampton Archery Club, he arrived with two canes either side to let him get around. Now, after 2 years of shooting, walking up and down archery range, he's throwing away his canes now. So his walking's improved. His posture has improved as well, so standing taller. A couple of years ago, I was used to by a doctor who used me as a referral treatment to them. So if they had somebody in, say, their arm in the plaster for a long period of time, the muscles would be sort of wasting, whereas the other muscles on their other arm, the good arm, would be building up. So they came to me after they've had the plaster removed, sort of build the muscles back up into normal stance. So yeah, it can be used as that as therapy. Yes.
With regard to muscle rebuilding, Dr. Andrew Mayers backs up this claim.
In terms of a muscle wasting disease like that, then to offset the progression of that illness with something that's physical, that's maybe helping rebuild the muscle itself to counteract what's happening, it's got to be a good thing.
But it isn't all plain sailing, as another one of Neil's archers discovered the hard way.
One of our older members, Gerald, who's in his third stage now of cancer, with a brain tumour on the brain, he has gone downhill. Yeah, occasionally misses the target, because his own brain cell is doing wonderful things in his brain cell, but he's here purely for the enjoyment, purely for meeting people, and he gets him out of the house, more importantly.
Richard Claydon, Health and Wellbeing Manager at Seoul Leisure Centre in Oxford, runs a weekly swimming class for people with physical and learning disabilities.
It has a detrimental effect in terms of their confidence, so they're turning up to try and do something and they've made that conscious decision to do something, but they can't access it as much as they would like. Ricky and Leslie, and they've both got a neurological disorder called ataxia, which really affects their sort of balance and things like that.
So at the beginning, I walked through water. I couldn't really put my face in. I tried, and your balance goes completely off, so it made me quite worse. A lot of the time I have to sleep my way through to a better day. I have tension headaches and migraines, and then I have memory relapses as well, so it's like short term. So all of that combined, sometimes days are rubbish.
Gets on top,
yeah. All that time that you're at home and there's nobody around. I mean, I've been probably battling these things for about 3 years now, and at some points I didn't understand what was wrong with me, and the doctors didn't get to me quick enough to actually get an answer. It was quite hard, and when you completely single yourself off from everybody and you become happy like that as well, it's quite dangerous.
So, whilst Ricky's ataxia meant that it was difficult for her to get to grips with the swimming sessions at first, and she understands that the exercise won't heal her condition, she believed that she is able to feel the benefits of swimming, in no small part due to a special nose clip and earplugs that she wears that help with her balance.
Because I use the water and I don't have to worry about my balance, it becomes my safe place. Confidence-wise, it's improved my confidence. So over time, I think I've been doing it for about a year now. When I leave here, I'm always bubbly and happy, and so it's obviously done something.
Yeah.
I've noticed that I can fit more in my day now. If it's not like a sleepy day, I'm getting more through, and I think it's like the stamina of being in the water, and just over time, I'm pushing myself.
In conducting these interviews, I've learned that whilst using exercise as part of a long-term recovery plan for different types of physical and mental illnesses is important, being a part of a community of those in similar positions is equally beneficial. We can also take away that whilst it varies from person to person, taking part in leisure and well-being activities can reap physical rewards for those struggling with physical disabilities. Premier League club AFC Bournemouth, alongside Dorset Mental Health Forum, are currently running weekly walking football sessions for those with mental health illnesses. These are the kinds of services influential companies ought to be providing to help tackle the issue. It's been encouraging to see how many services are available and how many sports, from football to archery and swimming, can be adapted to suit those who can't play them how they were originally intended. Nevertheless, it's clear that more awareness of these forms of therapy ought to be raised so that more can benefit from them, and it's going to take the likes of AFC Bournemouth and other influential organisations to not just provide those services, but to help raise awareness of the mental and physical disabilities they cater for, so that more can be done to treat and hopefully, one day, prevent them.